Indeed, what sort of vision do they have, Mr. Speaker? None, according to the right honourable gentleman. They want a Europe of subsidies, a Europe of socialist restrictions, a Europe of protectionism. They want it because that's how they would like to run, or is it to ruin this country?
What happened? What happened when the Labour government followed that policy? After they'd gone to the IMF, the next year they had to cut their spending by £10 billion. In today's money, the biggest single cuts ever known. And those are the credentials of the party which now brings this censure motion on our economic management.
I wonder what the right honourable gentleman's policy is in view of some of the things he said. Would he have agreed to a commitment to extend the community's powers to other supplementary sectors of economic integration without having any definition of what they are? Would he? Because you would have thought he would from what he said. One of them was that the Commission wants to extend its powers and competence into the area of health. We said no, we weren't going to agree to those things. And what he says, he sounded as if he would, for the sake of agreeing, for the sake of being little Sir Echo and saying me too.
But perhaps let the right honourable gentleman tell us, because he has made criticisms, what would he have done? But he's specific, they refuse to. He thinks that when oppositions criticise, they're supposed to put forward an alternative. He hasn't got one. Insofar as we can deduce it from previous policies, it would do everything possible to damage confidence in the entire future direction of this country.
We Conservatives believe passionately in giving a chance to those who've never had one before, and giving a chance to be independent of government and not dependent on every political whim, whether of national or local government. Conservatives give you the chance to choose, for we Conservatives believe in freedom. And notice that I say freedom, not license. There's no devil take the hindmost philosophy here. We are committed to a civilized society where the poor and the sick, the disabled and the elderly are properly cared for by the community, cared for by their families. And cared for by voluntary agencies. And one thing which our opponents hate is the excellent record of this government in both pensions and in the National Health Service, in spite of the most difficult world recession we've been through. Because the facts are that after the last 4 years of Tory government, the retirement pension now buys more than ever it did under Labour.
Speaker, I do not think the honourable gentleman can find one prediction from me. Then I challenge him. Can find one prediction. Right. I do not think the honourable gentleman can find one prediction from me about unemployment. I challenge him to find one from me. He will not be able to do so because
the monetary policy was at its greatest shambles when inflation under Labour reached 27%.
Now, the opposition motion conveniently ignores all the good things about the performance of the British economy, and it won't want me to say them, so I'm going to. Despite the coal strike, and the most determined attempt since the war to inflict damage on the economy by denying power and light to our homes and industries, despite all that which honourable and right honourable and opposite could do, output is at an all-time high. The proportion of people of working age in employment in Britain exceeds that of nearly all other industrial countries, and employment is growing. And it does does now. Profits have recovered dramatically, and in consequence total investment is at record levels and still growing. And despite the heavy cost of the miners' strike and all the right honourable and honourable gentlemen opposite could do, our current account remained in surplus for the 5th year in a row.
Labour's response to people's well-being is to sneer at it as materialism, when they're not denying it as myth. They relish class division. They depend on it. It's the root of all socialism.